A very good evening. Welcome to The World Now at 4 on Hills TV. I am Udwak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, Buhari off to Abu Dhabi for two-day visit. Still on the headlines, Rwanda genocide suspect confirmed dead. Also on the headlines, Afghanistan's female TV presenters to cover their faces. And on sport, female referees to officiate at Men's World Cup for first time in Qatar. And now the news in detail. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari will leave Nigeria on Thursday to meet with the new president of the United Arab Emirates, that is the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, to express his condolences on the death of His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the former president and ruler of Abu Dhabi. During his visit, Buhari will reportedly congratulate the new president and renew the long-standing friendship between Nigeria and the UAE. In an earlier message, Buhari reaffirmed Nigeria's friendly relationship with the UAE, adding that the cooperation between the two governments has aided Nigeria in tracing illegal assets and terrorist funds. The Minister of State's Foreign Affairs, Zubairu Dada, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, that is the FCT, Mohammed Bello, and the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, will accompany the President. A statement issued by Garba Shehu, President's Senior Special Assistant, added that the President will be back in Nigeria on Saturday. And away from that story to the United States, let's have you know that the United States of America has faulted Nigeria's child labor protection efforts. Deputy Undersecretary of Labor for International Affairs, Thea Lee, said the country does not meet many of the international standards on child labor. Lee, who was responding to a question by the nation at a virtual briefing, said though the Nigerian government has validated a national policy on child labor and a national action plan on the elimination of child labor, there is a lot of work that still needs to be done. And now getting to Kwara State. The Kwara State House of Assembly on Wednesday declared the seat of Ndamusa Guyeji, representing Edu constituency of the state, vacant following his defection to the Social Democratic Party, that is the SDP. The suspension of Ndamusa from the State Assembly was sequel to a letter forwarded to Speaker of the Assembly that he had defected from the All Progressives Congress, that is the APC, to the Social Democratic Party, that is the SDP, as a result of prolonged division and fractionalization of the APC in the state. Ndamusa was the second member in the 24-member assembly dominated by the APC to defect from the party. Saheed Bukwola, representing Ojomu Balogun constituency in Offa local government, was the first to defect following the crisis between the state, Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, and the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, which led to two factions within the party in the state. However, the majority of the minister's faction had defected to the Social Democratic Party, that is the SDP, in the state. The Speaker, Yakubu Danladi Salihu, said there was no division or faction within the All Progressives Congress from the national to the ward level that could warrant Ndamusa to defect to another political party. Still talking the news, there was pandemonium in the Ojo local government area of Lagos State on Thursday when operatives of the State Joint Task Force, that is the JTF, went to the area to effect the ban on Okada operations. It was learned that many of the Okada riders initially resisted the task force operatives from impounding their motorcycles. Reports revealed that while attempting to resist the task force's arrest, some of the motorcyclists and their passengers got injured. When contacted on the telephone, the Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Undain, clarified that there was no violence in the area. He also noted that there was no fatality. According to him, reports that there was a clash in the area are false and should be disregarded. When the news returns, it will be news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us. Always glad to have you back. This is Africa Today on Hills TV. A minister on Wednesday said around 15 assailants were killed during a terrorist attack last week in the north of Togo that also left 8 soldiers dead. Findings showed that Togo's troops are deployed in the north of the country to try and contain a jihadist threat, pushing south from Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, where militants linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group operate. The government said about 60 gunmen on motorcycles launched a violent terrorist attack on the military post in Kanyagidi in the early hours of May 11 near the border with Burkina Faso, killing 8 Togolese soldiers and wounding 13. Togo Security Minister General Damahene Yak on Wednesday evening said that according to well-informed sources, there were about 15 dead in the group of attackers. Soldiers had foiled an attack in November last year in the northern village of Sanlaoga, making last week's attack the first to have casualties. Violence from armed groups and criminal networks is on the rise across West Africa. Ghanaian Defense Minister Dominic Nitawul said earlier this month during a meeting of West African defense chiefs that in 3 years, the region has suffered more than 5,300 terror-related attacks, claiming around 16,000 lives. Still talking, the world now at 4 United Nations, that is the UN Tribunal, has announced the death of another Rwandan genocide fugitive who was among the last 5 suspects at large. The UN's residual mechanism of International Criminal Tribunal said that it had determined that Phineas Munyaragurama died in 2002 in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. In a statement on Wednesday, the tribunal said it was able to conclude following a comprehensive and challenging investigation that Munyaragurama died from natural causes on 28 February 2002. Munyaragurama, a former Rwandan military commander, had been charged with 8 counts, including genocide and crimes against humanity. The tribunal's chief prosecutor, Sergei Bramaz, said in a statement that he hopes that the troops and the results bring some closure to victims and their survivors of Munyaragurama's crimes in the Bogereza region. And now, let's have you know that we go on a short break. When we come back, it will be news from other parts of the world. Stay with us. Great to have you back. Finland's parliament on Tuesday overwhelmingly approved the proposal to apply for membership of the NATO military alliance in a historic policy shift prompted by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. President Sauli Niinistö and the government decided officially on Sunday that Finland would apply for membership, but the decision was pending parliament's approval. Meanwhile, the Speaker of Parliament, Matti Vanhanen, of the 200 lawmakers, 188 voted in favor and 8 against the application. Still in the news, the Taliban have ordered female Afghan TV presenters to cover their faces while on air. Media outlets were reportedly told of the decree on Wednesday. The ruling comes 2 weeks after all women were ordered to wear a face veil in public or face punishment. Restrictions on women are being tightened. They are banned from traveling without male relatives, and secondary schools are shut for girls. The new decree has been widely criticized on Twitter, with many calling it another step by the Taliban to promote extremism. And now to the U.S., where U.S. intelligence shows there could be a North Korean nuclear test or long-range missile test or both before, during, or after President Joe Biden's trip to South Korea and Japan starting this week, said U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan.
And we are prepared.
Moving on in the news, apologies for that mix-up. Secretary Jens Stoltenberg said on Thursday that it was not unusual for members of NATO to have different opinions, referring to Turkey's reluctance to accept Sweden and Finland's bid to join the defensive alliance. He added that they are in close contact with Finland, Sweden and Turkey and addressing the concerns that Turkey has expressed. And now let's have you know matters on health that the World Health Organization on Thursday authorized the use of Chinese manufacturers CanSino Bio's single-shot COVID-19 vaccine. It is the third Chinese-made vaccine to be approved by the WHO after Sinovac and Sinopharm. It was found to have 64% efficacy against symptomatic disease and 92% efficacy against severe COVID-19, the WHO said. The vaccine meets WHO standards for protection against COVID-19 and the benefits of the vaccines far outweighs the risks, the United Nations Health Agency said in a statement. The WHO vaccine experts recommended it for people aged 18 and above. The jab has already been rolled out in China, Argentina, Chile, Malaysia, Mexico, Pakistan. And still in the news, some other vaccine company like the Pfizer, BioNTech, AstraZeneca, Janssen, Moderna, Sinovac, Sinopharm, and Bharat Biotech, Novavax, and now CanSino Bio are in for the supplies. Up next on The World Now at 4 is business. Don't go away. Welcome back to The World Now at 4, this time talking business. The Federal Executive Council, that is the FEC, FEC, on Wednesday approved 169.7 billion naira for private sector investments for at least 4 road infrastructures through the government's tax credit scheme, and that is the TCS. The roads include a 234-kilometer stretch from Bali to Sheti through Gashaka to Gembu in Taraba State at the sum of 95,232,474,010.72 naira. The second road, which is also a tax credit scheme, consists of 3 roads worth 74,486,577,050 naira. Nigeria's Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this to State House correspondents at the end of the council meeting presided over by the Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, on Wednesday, while noting that the arrangement allowed private sector players to finance public infrastructure instead of paying taxes and then offset it over time using tax credits. And now let's talk some forex. Naira has weakened in the parallel markets due to increased speculations, falling external reserves, and low foreign exchange inflows into Africa's biggest oil producer. The country's external reserves fell by $313 million in March, according to figures obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is the CBN. On his part, the Chief Executive Officer of Center for the Promotion of Private Sector, Muda Yusuf, urged the CBN to float the exchange rate markets to provide clarity for investors and allow the markets to be determined by the forces of demand and supply. Yusuf said the CBN's current approach would continue to deepen distortions in the economy, perpetuate round-tripping, fuel speculation and suppress forex supply. The dollar exchanged at 600 naira on Monday at the parallel market, heightening fears of a further devaluation of the nation's currency. The rate at the importers and exporters windows was, however, 415 naira on Monday, widening the exchange rate spread to 184 naira. Still talking business, the International Monetary Fund, that is the IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva, said on Thursday that global finance leaders may need to become more comfortable with fighting multiple stints of inflationary pressures. Georgieva said this on the sidelines of a G7 finance ministers and central bank governors meeting in Germany, that it is getting harder for central banks to bring down inflation without causing recessions due to mounting pressures on energy and food prices from Russia's war in Ukraine, China's zero-COVID policies that have slashed manufacturing with lockdowns, and the need to reorder supply chains to make them more resilient. The European Commission, that is the EU, has announced a $220 billion plan to end its dependency on Russian fossil fuels in a span of 5 years and speed up its transition to green energy. The move comes as the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, Europe's top gas supplier, has prompted the EU to rethink its energy policies and sharpened concerns of supply shocks. EU Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen said on Wednesday in Brussels, when announcing the package, Moscow supplies 40% of the bloc's gas and 27% of its imported oil, and EU countries are struggling to agree on sanctions against the latter. The bloc's dash to ditch Russia energy stems from a combination of voluntary and mandatory actions. Both reflect the political discomfort of helping fund Russia's military campaign in a country that neighbors the EU and wants to join the bloc. Still to come on the World Now at 4 is sports. Don't go away.
It happened last year when we had 7 finalists vying for the grand prize M Grand 7 2021 model worth 11.5 million naira.
For the winner, season 1, Niger Post Fighter, John.
This year, it is even bigger and better.
My name is Joel Idajile, the winner of Niger Boss Factor Season 1. Those of you that didn't enroll, I'm sorry, you have missed out big time. You scammed yourself. You think they were trying to scam you.
Register for the Niger Boss Factor Season 2 with the sum of 5,500 naira payable to GT Bank account number 0561 094 161. Send payment proof to WhatsApp portal number 0901 625 2525. Go to www.bossfm.ng to complete your registration. Call 0808 237 0000 or 0811 584 1500 for more information. Niger Boss Factor Season 2. Celebrate culture, celebrate life. Terms and conditions apply.
Good evening and welcome to Sports News on World Now at 4. I am Aidnan Lubem. Now to Sports News. The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development in Nigeria has concluded arrangement to hold the maiden Nigeria Under-18 Basketball Championships in the country with a view to ensuring more youth participation in sports, especially in the game of basketball. The competition, which targets youth at the grassroots, will commence with zonal elimination amongst the 36 states of the Federation and FCT between May 27 and 30 after which winners and first runners-up emerging from the zones will proceed to Abuja for the finals, coming up between June 3 and 8. The ministry further called on state governments to ensure active participation of youth and students in the games so as to build talent development, which will go a long way in curbing youth restiveness in the country. It went ahead to commend President Muhammadu Buhari's administration for its commitment to the development of grassroots sports in the country and assure that it will continue to provide enabling environment for the full implementation of government policies, projects and programs in line with the policy thrust of the present administration, especially as it relates to youth and sports development. Host Nigeria will slug it out with Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal and 6 other nations at the Western Region qualifiers for the 2023 ITTF World Championships, that is WC, which kicks off today at the Molade Okoya Thomas Hall of the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Lagos State. 4 events, team, men and women, also including singles men and women, will be jostled for at the 3-day tournament, with Nigeria's Real One Akambi and Fatima Bello defending their titles in the singles event, while Nigeria will also be aiming to retain the team event titles. Apart from Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal, other teams participating in the tournament are Mali, Guinea, Niger Republic, Benin Republic, Burkina Faso and Togo. Already, all is set for the commencement of the championships, as the participating teams will be targeting the few slots from the region on the final day on May 21. Team Nigeria returned from their camp in Ogun State on Tuesday and are expected to be led by Akambi, while other members of the team include Amadi, Ume, Aziz, Solanke and Taiwo Mati. Bello will lead the women's team alongside Tosin Oribamishi, Ajoke Ojomi and Bosse Odunsoya. However, Paris-based Ivorian Oba Kizito, who lost his men's single title in 2021 after winning the maiden edition in 2019, said he was ready to wrestle his title in Lagos. Respected Italian media outlet has reported that Super Eagles hitman Victor Osimhen has agreed personal terms with English Premier League side Newcastle United, hoping to join them before the end of the summer transfer window. The deal, reportedly worth twice the amount, £4.5 million, he is presently earning at Napoli, which is about 3.4 billion naira, which further cements his spot as the highest earning Nigerian player in Europe. Newcastle United are, however, yet to agree a deal with Napoli over his transfer fee, with the Serie A side holding out for a transfer fee in the region of around £100 million before they can sanction any deal. The media outlet also gathered that the idea of asking for £100 million is largely due to the fact that 30% of whatever is gotten from the sale of the forward will go to his former club, Lille, as agreed in the deal that saw him join Napoli 2 seasons ago. Incidentally, newsmen reported in April that Osimhen was open to joining Arsenal, but only if they qualified for the Champions League. However, the Premier League side is now 2 points behind Antonio Conte's Tottenham in 4th place with just 1 game remaining. Gabon captain and Barcelona striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has retired from international football a fortnight before the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign begins. The 32-year-old made a total of 68 appearances for the Panthers and scored 29 goals, making him the nation's all-time leading scorer. The Gabon Football Federation, FEGAFOOT, said it had received a letter from Aubameyang announcing his decision and recognized his immense career as a player who knew how to promote the image of Gabon around the world, adding that Emerick Aubameyang will always be a model for future generations. Aubameyang was born in France and appeared for the French under-21 side, but switched to play for Gabon to follow in the footsteps of his father, who captained the side at their first Nations Cup final appearance in 1994. He did not always enjoy a cordial relationship with Fegerfoot, including in 2018 when he criticized the governing body for announcing his father would be the new national team coach before a deal had been finalized. The striker was in Gabon squad for the year's delayed 2021 Nations Cup, but missed all of their games in Cameroon after initially contracting COVID-19 and then suffering from reported heart lesions. Eintracht Frankfurt beat Rangers 5-4 on penalties to win the Europa League after Wednesday's final in Seville finished 1-1 at the end of extra time. Colombian striker Rafael Borré scored the winning penalty for Frankfurt in the shootout after Rangers' Aaron Ramsey had earlier seen his kick saved by Kevin Trapp. Borré had cancelled out Joe Aribo's opener in normal time and no more goals were added in the extra period before Eintracht won their first European Trophy Cup since 1980 UEFA League final. Frankfurt coach Giovanni van Bronckhorst expressed delight with the team after winning a major trophy in the last 42 years. Female referees will officiate matches at this year's Men's World Cup for the first time in the tournament's history. France, Stephanie Frappart, Rwanda's Salima Mugusanga, and Japan's Yoshimi Yamashita have been selected to take charge of games in Qatar. They will be supported by 3 female assistant referees. Premier League referees Michael Oliver and Anthony Taylor have also been chosen for the tournament, which begins on Monday, 21 November 2021. Taylor refereed the Euro 2020 match between Denmark and Finland and was praised for reacting quickly to ensure Christian Eriksen received urgent medical attention after collapsing on the field. In total, 36 referees, 69 assistant referees and 24 video match officials have been chosen for this year's tournament. And that's your sport news on World Now at 4. Back to Udwak for the rest of the news.
Many thanks, Ainan Lubem, for that input in sports. And now to the rest of the news. Shots were reportedly fired at a German school in the northern city of Bremerhaven on Thursday, and one person who was not a student was wounded, according to the police, adding that an armed person had been taken into custody. On its website, the Lloyd Gymnasium, which has around 1,150 students, posted a notice saying, "Dear parents, your children are safe," while giving a phone number that parents could call for further information. Although the police did not give any details of the person who was detained, the newspaper said that a second suspect appeared to be on the run following the shooting, but police said on Twitter that its investigation indicated there was only one perpetrator. And that's the World Now at 4. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you Buhari off to Abu Dhabi.